Growing up in a Native American Indian household, storytelling is a thing that us Native American Indian families often do. But in my house, we didn't tell the average stories that most families would. Our stories usually pertain to spirituality, church people, and religion. My father could tell the most hilarious and funniest stories that you ever heard. I remember on one occasion my father telling us a story about a traveling evangelist who went into a town where the people didn't know much about Jesus. So the evangelist set forth out to seek some people that he could tell about Jesus. So he went to a man's house named John. He went to John's house. John let him in. The preacher began to tell John about Jesus Christ. John had never heard about Jesus Christ before, and he was reformed and changed his life, and he accepted Jesus Christ. Then the preacher went on to a lady named Mary's house. He went in and told Mary, he said, "Mary, did you know Jesus died for your sins?" She said, "Well, I've heard about it, but I've never experienced anything like I have experienced here today." Then the preacher heard about a lady named Betty Fay who lived way back off the road in the woods. So the preacher thought this would be a good opportunity for me to witness. So he went back to Sister Betty Fay's house. Nobody ever went about her. Nobody ever checked on her. She stayed shut up in her house way back off the road in the woods, all alone. So the preacher knocked on the door, and Sister Betty Fay was so glad to see somebody come to her home. Sister Betty Fay let him in, and the preacher began to tell her, "Sister Betty Fay, did you know Jesus Christ died for your sins?" She looked at him and she was puzzled. She looked at him and she said, "Preacher, I didn't even know he was sick. Ain't nobody told me nothing about it. If I'd known it, I'd have went and checked on him